for this match. First referee, Herbert Mathematical ABC International Referee. Second referee, Joven Racelis National Referee. And now let's meet the starters. First, for the Criss Cross King Crunchers. Opposite hitter number 8, team captain Isay Marasigan. Middle blocker number 4, Kim Malabunga. Outside spiker number 5, Jude Garcia. Middle blocker number 7, Rex Intal. Center number 14 is Polvorosa. And outside spiker number 15, Mark Espejo. Starting libero number 22, Sumanggid. Head coach for Criss Cross is Anusor Tai Puntit. And now the starters for the PGJC Philippine Navy Sea Lions. Outside spiker number 16, team captain Seaman second class Greg Dolor. Center number 9, Poots Putadera. Outside spiker Seaman second class number 11, Omar Liok. Middle blocker number 15, apprentice Seaman Peter Kiel. Middle blocker number 17, Joboy Sapita. And opposite hitter number 18, Seaman second class, Toto de la Vega. Starting libero number 13, Seaman second class, Jack Ganlingki. Head coach for the Philippine Navy is George Pasua.
Starting lineup of the King Crunchers. Little change for Coach Tai Bundit as Jewel Asia will now come off the bench. And the start for Ish Polvorosa, who came off the bench in their first semifinals game, which they lost against the Navigators Iloilo. In the meantime, it's the same starting 6 for Coach George Pascua, hoping to get big numbers from De La Vega. We mentioned how Dolor, Kiel, and Liok have been very good. 3 players in double digits in that loss against Signal HD Spikers.
Well, we did mention in the pre-game that we feel for Criss Cross, you're going to need to give Mark Espejo the chance to get used to this team again. We have to mention, everyone's getting better. Yep. Chemistry in other teams has already been built. So Criss Cross, you have to do the same.
Well, an attack error from De La Vega gives the first point to the King Crunchers. An overpass. Nice save by Kalingking. Here comes De La Vega with a hit. Espejo gets a touch. Off the block, it's outside. 2 straight points for the King Crunchers.
Well, what a way to warm up for Mark Espejo. That set was actually pretty far, but you can see, just enough form there, enough arm movement there to get that point for Criss Cross.
Polvorosa played only 2 sets in that loss against the Navigators Iloilo. Espejo, another touch. Kalingking with a dig. Short pass. Kalingking saves it. Chance ball here for the King Crunchers. Combination play, and Espejo once again, all of the touches, just like you asked for. Espejo getting a bulk of the kills right now.
Yeah, I think that's smart for Coach Tai and for Ish Polvorosa to be setting to Mark, because again, you want him to get comfortable in the Philippine volleyball scene. Not that he actually needs anything else, but you know what I'm saying.
Came off playing for Incheon Korean Air Jumbos. De La Vega hits the antenna. And 2 errors for Joven De La Vega already. It's a 4-0 start here.
I got confused. I heard the buzzer. I thought there's going to be a challenge or something, but no. Just the point for Criss Cross. Yeah, because De La Vega did actually hit the antenna.
Leok with an odd pass. Leok down the line. Finally, the first attack point for PGJC Navy.
And you see right now, no, we're talking about PGJC Navy. They've been around for so long. We've always been talking about De La Vega and then Kiel, then Dolor. But you need these other players to step up, like Sapida, Leok. Podaderes play a great game.
Polvorosa, they go to the middle, and Kim Malabunga contributes a point.
You and I, we were talking about the depth of Criss Cross's bench. Easily, if you look at the bench, that could be the starting unit for another team. But the challenge right now for Coach Tai is, because it is a new team, they've played together before, yes, but they've been with other teams, other teammates, other systems, right? So you need to give them time also to blend.
Espejo with a service fault. You've got Inchiga, Intal, Arpasto, Requinton, Jewel Asia.
Yeah.
I mean, such a solid bench as you see Jude Garcia coming off a huge performance in the last game.
Well, what a conference it has been for Jude Garcia, coming from beach volleyball and giving us, I did mention before, MVP-like numbers. We wouldn't be surprised because he's been lording it over the skills category.
He was the Spikers Turf Player of the Week back in early March. And there's a point by De La Vega. De La Vega was limited to single digits for the first time in the conference. 9 points or 6 points he put up in that loss against the HD Spikers. So that's how good the defense was, how they concentrated and kept De La Vega to a minimum.
Yeah, and remember in the opening interview, Greg Dolor did mention that they do have to work on their first passing as well, because they did give up 5 aces in that match. So you don't want to see those numbers come the next game when we talk about the stats.
Jude Garcia, back-to-back points. And it's a 4-point cushion once again for the King Crunchers.
Yeah, you know, early on here, in this first set, you can feel that Criss Cross has a mission. After that loss to the Navigators, you feel like they're very focused. Whereas when you're looking at Navy, now you're sensing a bit of intimidation. I don't know, they look like kind of slow here. We've seen it in the entire conference.
And miscommunication between Polvorosa and Barasigan as they both touched the ball, resulting in an error. Take a look here. Actually, it's double contact on Ish, as Isay Barasigan did not move from the place, from his position.
Well, funny, because when you look at that slow-mo, technically, it is Ish's ball because he is the setter. However, Isay Marasigan was already there, so you don't have to kind of get it from him.
8-4. King Crunchers up by 4 against the Sea Lions here in the opening set.
You're still watching the Spikers Surf 2024 Semifinals Day 2. Now, Eric and Noreen, a big awakening and, of course, a very tough loss for the Criss Cross King Crunchers for their first game of the semifinals. And according to assistant coach Carl Baisa and Captain Isay Marasigan's interview earlier, they believe that the team was too complacent. Complacent in the sense that all that was in their heads was their first or one loss from Signal, that they forgot about the progress of the rest. Ironically, though, it was also admitted that the veteran squad's confidence confidence was lacking due to the lack of experience together. Yes, majority played together in Ateneo, Signal, and even in the national team, but it's really not the same. They are all back to square one. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Well, let's see if they've made the adjustments necessary because they need a win, as De La Vega says there's a touch, and according to Herbert Matematico, first referee, there was a touch.
Yeah, that was on their way up for that block. So, yeah, I mean, Navy gets a free point there.
But going back to that report by Ayana, so maybe overconfidence, one of the factors, according to Marasigan and Carpaisa. But right now, with just a few games remaining, they can't afford any of that. They've got to treat each and every game like it's going to be their last, because it could be, especially if they don't pick up a win today, and then, or even if they win today, did not get assured of a final spot, because they're going to have to go up against Signal again, the final game of the semifinals, as Espejo knocks one in.
Well, we did mention at the top of the coverage, you know, if there is a tie somewhere down the road, we will be using the ranking of FIVB. So just to mention, if you win in 3 or 4 sets, you get 3 points.
Okay.
If
the loser
0.
Doesn't get anything.
So like the Navigators, earlier they lost a Signal in straight sets, they get 0 points.
Okay.
So they're at 3 because they beat Criss Cross in 4 sets.
Right.
Anyway, when you win in 5 sets, you get 2 points. The loser gets 1 point. So those are the points that you can garner from victories.
So if you're going to lose, you might as well lose in 5, so you get something. Otherwise, 4 or less, you get nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And that's going to matter really in when there's a tie, or when there are ties down the road.
And there could be, as you see, a tough set by Pudadera there. But a dig for Isay Marasigan. Kalingking passes Pudadera. Kiel is blocked. Pudadera this time goes to Liok. Yeah, that's set too close to the net.
Yeah, Pudadera now acknowledging the fact that Criss Cross's blocking is there, so trying to, you know, get creative, but at that time fell short.
And right now, the King Crunchers are starting to run away with this, up by 6 already. Rex Ital making his first appearance.
And we did mention, no, in that loss to the Navigators, the categories were in there stronger than Iloilo. They were actually less in terms of point output. So in blocking, they want to be blocking better today.
Speaking of blocking, Liok with a block, but it goes outside. So another point here for the King Crunchers.
Yeah, and you will see Coach George teach the proper technique to blocking because he was there. It's a matter of your form, your technique.
Oh, by the way, this is the second meeting technically of these two teams. The first meeting went the way of the King Crunchers in 4 sets. So, as you see, Ish Polvorosa almost, he slid on the cards used for the challenge, but he's okay. But going back, it was a 4-set win for the King Crunchers against the Sea Lions in their one and only meeting in the preliminary round. So they've got the motivation, they've got the advantage, at least in terms of, you know, mentally.
But we did mention what is at stake today. You really need to get on the win column to keep your chances to get to the finals alive.
Kim Malabunga on a running attack. Malabunga only 4 points, was limited to 4 points by the Navigators.
Boy, 4 points from Kim Malabunga. That's unheard of.
Short pass. De La Vega uses the net inadvertently and gets the point.
Well, they'll take it. They need that point with the help of the net. But you see what I'm saying? With that, normally you'll see Navy celebrating, you know, being noisy inside the court. That was a very quiet 1 point for Toto De La Vega.
Served by Omar Liok. Here comes Isay. Liok pops it up. Could have been outside, but he picked it up. Oh! Lucky save there for Greg Dolor. Isay backing up for it. It's an easy pickup for Liok. Dolor attacking off the block, and he scores.
Well, that's a better celebration for Navy. That's what you want to see. You know, the fight back from PGJC Navy.
5-point game. Omar Leoc with 10 points, 2 blocks, 1 ace. In that first game in the semis against the HD Spikers, he scored 8 against the King Crunchers in their first meeting. Malabunga with a push. Udadera out to Delor. Off the block, back-to-back points for Greg Delor.
Boy, that's how talented he is. I mean, your blockers are Mark Espejo and Kim Malabunga. And you still get the point. Look at that. Just a smart player.
He had 13. Greg Delor against the King Crunchers in the preliminary round. Nice serve, but a good pass by Espejo. A combination play. Jude Garcia, Pudadera with the up. Kaling King passes Delor again. He has the hot hand. This time around, goes outside. No block touch, according to Herbert Matematico, but a very quick challenge by Coach George Pascua. And there's somebody admitted.
The green card for Kim Malabunga.
So a timeout here for Coach Taibundit. We'll listen in.
By left line, by Viking. Don't tip, ha?
Get 1 point, guys. Di pa naman tayo na-block eh. Tara lang. Alright, get 1. Taas lang. Kaya natin
Keep 1 point or time 1 point.
happy lang.
Thinking 1 point.
Every point. Tapos patay.
When blocking, only cross.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oi, Criss Cross! Criss Cross!
Coach Taibundit halting the play as Greg Delor has scored 3 straight points. Pablo Majoy Baron checking out the action here. Among other things.
Taking time out to enjoy men's volleyball.
Serve is outside for Omar Leoc. Just a 4-point game. I mean, for the Sea Lions, I think you should consider this a good thing.
Yeah.
You're not getting blown out. You know, you're 3-4 side outs away, and that helps. Service fault by Espejo.
Good for Tan. Leoc commits a service error and Espejo gives it right back. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like in this first set that Criss Cross was going to pull away, but you like we said earlier, the fight back of PGJC Navy.
Polvorosa out to Isai. Off the block and outside. Side out for the King Crunchers. That takes us to our second technical timeout. They're back up by 4 again against the Sea Lions.
Welcome back to the Spikers Surf 2024 Semifinals Day 2. Eric and Noreen, an extra motivated PGJC Navy Sea Lions squad coming into today's game dahil isa lang ang naging mensahe ni Head Coach George Pascua. Play with your hearts para makita ng PGJC juniors natin. Captain Greg Delor shared how this statement really upped the energy of their squad dahil ito na yung chance nila to be examples to their juniors in a very small way. Kung makita nila yung tapang nila in the game and that they love what they do in volleyball, this attitude could also follow in their Navy duties. Ika nga ni Greg, lalaban kami hanggang dulo para sa mga bata na rin. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Well, right now they have cut into that deficit. They're only down by 3, and they get... No, that's outside the serve by De La Vega. Awesome Live sports viewing is guaranteed with Signal yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Switch now and get up to 3 months with no cash out. Visit signal.tv/switch for more details.
Right, so PGJC Navy, how many service errors have they committed? This could have been an even closer set.
Yep.
But yeah, they have to check that.
Still a 4-point game. Jewel Asia is in the game for the first time, replacing Ish Polvorosa. Not a good pass there by Greg Delor, and that is not going to count for Marvin Kairami, who's also checking in for the first time for Coach George Pascua. And now the lead is 5 once again for the King Crunchers after this error by Greg Delor. Timeout for Coach Pascua. We'll listen to the Sea Lions.
So, boys, kailangan mag-isip tayo logical. Hindi yung kailangan ng malakas. Kailangan simpleng play, simpleng execution, pero effective. Huwag niyong minamadali. Pag minadali ninyo, mawawala kayo sa control sa bola. So, establish muna yung position ninyo. Hindi kuha ng bola. For example, pag nagse-service kayo, pag nasa likuran yung bola, pag nauna kayo sa bola, automatic outside yan. Ganun din sa palo. So, eto yung bola. Kita nyo block, kita nyo court. Basic lang naman yun eh. So, adjustment lang yun eh. Naintindihan? Okay, let's go. Kaya yan. Laban, laban.
Well, basically, Coach George reminding the guys, you know, not to be in a rush.
Yeah.
You know, being in a rush doesn't solve your problems. You know, it actually adds to it because you're wrong form. You don't really see your opponent's defense or weakness. So you gotta, you know, take it once at a time.
And that hit is outside again, so the errors continue to reign for the Sea Lions. Even after the timeout, that's not what you want to see for Coach George Pascua. He will use a challenge here, saying there was a block touch on the hit by Greg Delor.
Well, they're hoping that, of course, that's gonna... the decision will be in their favor because it was already narrowed to 3 points, 14-11, and then now...
And Coach Pascua has changed setters. Jairami is in and hasn't really worked out for them just yet. While on the other side of the net for the King Crunchers, there's also been some changes. That's not even close.
Yeah.
Jewel Asia is now orchestrating the offense. Jaro Riquinton is in the game for the first time for the King Crunchers. There's Coach George Pascua, his first stint as the head coach of the Sea Lions in the Open Conference in 2024.
Yeah, I actually remember when the first few games of Criss Cross, it was Riquinton who actually started. So I think Coach Tai is just going back to what he feels like is working for him.
Combination play, back row, and that is Espejo knocking it in. This is now the biggest lead of the King Crunchers. It's 7.
And he is proving to the doubters, yeah, I'm healthy here, I'm not injured.
Timeout again for the Sea Lions. We'll listen in.
Madaliin eh. Di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo, pag nakuha nyo yung tempo ninyo, sige, walang problema. Pero hanggat ninyo ba nakukuha yung tempo ninyo, di ba? Dadahan-dahan nyo lang muna. Paano yung block na yun, di ba? Ang block natin wala naman side step, di ba? Side cross yun para mas maidudukot ninyo. Huwag nyo hapulin yung bola. Pag hinapon nyo yan, papunta dito yan, idukot nyo, ipas nyo sa loob. Kasi tumatama sa kamay ang problema, yung kamay natin wala sa loob. So, tinatapon nyo lang sa depensa. Mabayaan may depensa tayo sa likod kung lulusot ang bola, ha? Tsaka huwag nyo madaliin. Let's go!
Well, that is the final timeout for Coach George Pascua. His boys will have to do it themselves from here on in. Down 7, opening set of this semifinal matchup.
Yeah, and same, you know, Coach George urging the boys to be more deliberate. Take your time, just the right form, right technique.
Push by Sapida. Wait a minute, there's a net touch going to be called against the Sea Lions.
Well, coverage was actually there. Kalingking gonna handle that, but yeah, net violation. And we did mention, I mean, Coach George did mention, if you're gonna block, penetrate. Now the arms have to penetrate that net.
Much better pass.
Oh!
See the result. Offense just looks much better for the Sea Lions. if they get a good pass in to Jairami.
Yeah, and we did mention PGJC Navy has improved so much this conference, and thanks to people like Sapida.
Yep. Good serve by Dolor. Almost an overpass. One-handed set. And wait a minute. The net touch was after the ball hit the ground. Garcia gets the point, but there's another challenge here.
The thing is, I think they should not allow that challenge because you cannot see whether the ball hit the ground first before Jude Garcia went into the net.
Into the net.
There's no way to see that. So
we have 23 cameras around the court aimed at the lines, the net.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a challenge.
I mean, it was obvious that Jude Garcia went into the net.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Right?
He hit the net.
So they're going to see the net touch. They're going to get it. But which came first?
Yeah. The ball hitting the ground.
Or the egg?
Or Garcia clipping the net. That is what's in question.
Let's see what
You're hoping they can stitch some videos together and see whether, I mean, time it correctly, see which hit which first. 5-3, a win-loss record of the Sea Lions in the preliminary round. Good enough for 4th place to make it to the semifinals. They lost their first game against the HD Spikers, and right now they need a win. They're going up against the number 2 team after the preliminary round, the King Crunchers, who finished with a 7-1 win-loss record. Their only loss prior to the semis was against the defending champions, the HD Spikers. But they sustained their second loss yesterday, day before, against the Navigators Iloilo in the semifinals in 4 sets. I mean, and that stunned a lot of people.
No, I mean, it goes to show really there's no room for
complacency.
I wouldn't
Not
say
even?
the Navigators was complacent. I wouldn't say that. It's
No. The King Crunchers were complacent.
No. Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is people were surprised that they beat Criss Cross, right? But when you see the game or when you watch the game earlier, it's today they lost to Signal. It's like,
so the ball hit the ground first.
Right. Oh, so now we have that angle.
You have little faith, Noreen.
Yeah.
We have a wide angle camera.
Well, that's good news going into the...
Right, to the finals, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty high-tech.
Games before, I know they can't challenge that. Remember?
They could, I remember one incident where that was the, issue, and they couldn't just put it together.
Which came first?
Yeah. Oh! Espejo tried to be fancy. He was a free ball at the net, and instead of hitting it, he tried to set it up to put up a pretty play. Take a look here. He could have actually just picked up a kill.
Look at the reaction of Espejo. Oh, come on. But we've seen a lot of that in men's volleyball.
And we saw a lot of that earlier. Signal looked pretty in sync with stuff like that. It was Bagunas, actually, the counterpart of Espejo. A lot of people consider, right?
Yeah.
There was a free ball, and instead of hitting it, he set it off from the back row, too. So it looked nice.
Yeah.
As Riquinton with a hit, there's another net touch going to be called against Liok this time. Right now, the Sea Lions are on a downward spiral, and they can't stop it.
Now, that's one thing they need to do is check their errors. That has been giving them all sorts of problems today.
Well, they had 25 errors. They're not the most error-prone team. I mean, the King Crunchers, 30 errors in that 4-set loss against the Navigators.
Well, not to mention Signal. Since time immemorial, they're known to be a team to commit a lot of errors.
There's a block by Kiel. Set to Espejo. He made something out of nothing. Espejo will pick it up and just toss it overhead. Hit by Kiel. Malabunga. The push and the point.
Well, pretty scrappy play from Criss Cross, but they do still get the point. Espejo and Malabunga, we have to say they've been getting really comfortable setting. We saw Malabunga earlier plays.
Rex Ital, former Blue Eagle, former national team player as well. Jairami to Kel. That's dug by Intal. Here comes Espejo. And that is right on the corner. And that'll do it.
That'll do it.
A 10-point win by the King Crunchers against the Sea Lions in the opening set.
Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, 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 check.
Narda, sumabay sa hangin, ako'y napatingin. Jopay, dadalhin kita sa aming bahay. Tayo.
Back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum for the second semifinal match. And after the first set, the King Crunchers, as a lot of fans expected, won in a big way. Had a 10-point lead at the end.
Yeah, well, we saw early on, you know, the game plan of Coach Tai and Criss Cross was to focus on getting Mark Espejo more touches, getting him more comfortable and into the Criss Cross system. You know, we always hear that word system, but now you're going to see that that's obviously what Coach Tai wants. So, yeah, I mean, that's what happened, and they just played their game, and they looked good. But for Navy, what we have to say is 10 errors. We did mention their errors, and you did mention, Eric, they're not really a team to commit a lot of errors. So why do it now?
That's
question
right.
mark. So you have to address that and try to get your serves in. You know, the net violations more forgivable, but your service errors, you got to check that. So you got to forget about the first set and try to come back here in the second set.
They had 16 points after the first set against the HD Spikers, and they only managed 15 here against the King Crunchers. So something must give. They've got to put up more points. They've got to be more aggressive and reduce the errors. They gave 6 points easily in that opening set, and they lost by 10. So you do the math, and they could have been, you know, much. It would have been a more competitive, closer game had they been more conservative with the mistakes.
Yeah, and they just couldn't get anything going. We rarely mentioned Otto de la Vega, Peter Kiel, you know, a bit more of Dolor. And we did say at the top of the coverage, if they want a chance to actually try to win this match, you got to get these three playing well.
That's true. There's a tip by Malabunga to kick things off. De la Vega with the dig, and the first point of the second set going to the Sea Lions. Omar Liok with the kill.
Well, he has been the bright spot. You know, Sapida and Liok, they're the ones when they get the sets, they score. So imagine if the rest, like Dolor, say it again, like Dolor, Kiel, and De La Vega, if they can get clearer sets, cleaner sets.
Espejo against a single block. That's not going to be enough. And that's going to be the problem that the Sea Lions will be facing. I mean, Espejo and Polvorosa, they played together for such a long time. And to be able to figure out how you're going to defend with so many attackers across the net. And there's Hiel with a kill.
Marcus Perez showing us some flexibility. Look at that, like a split there. Yes.
Well, it's not a complete split, if you know what I mean.
A guy split.
Yeah, it's a guy. That's what you call it. It's a guy split.
Before.
Omar Liok with the serve overpass. Great job by Polvorosa keeping it alive for the King Crunchers. There's a net touch on Greg Dolor.
Yeah, ball's too near the net. The set was too near, and we did see the outstretched arms of Kim Malabunga.
Another error for the Sea Lions, giving an easy point to the King Crunchers. We're tied at 2. Second set. Malabunga. Not a good pass there from Peter Kell. And we talked about the passing as De La Vega will get the kill. His passing hasn't been one of the strengths of the Sea Lions, especially in the first set, where we saw Pudadera, Jairami just running all over the place.
Yeah, but finally we have to mention, you know, Toto De La Vega gets that kill and the lead for Navy.
A short-lived lead. Another fault for the Sea Lions.
With service error again.
Marasigan only 6 points in their game against the Navigators Iloilo. He's another one of those consistent double-digit scorers. And a nice block, Jude Garcia against Soto De La Vega.
He is one of the best blockers in this conference, and he's showing us why. He did make his adjustment. He saw early on De La Vega got it through his hands, and then now he made the adjustment.
2 straight points scored by the Sea Lions. Pudadera, combination play, Greg Dolor off the block. A side out, Sea Lions.
Great set there by Pudadera. You have to give it to Rex Etal. I mean, he did bite into the middle's decoy, but still got a hand at that ball.
For all. There's Etal not allowing the Sea Lions to make a run.
Yes, Vida left by his lonesome there, one-on-one. And Etal just hits it off the blocker's hand.
Well, so far, that's still been the issue for the Sea Lions. They have not been able to read the offense of the King Crunchers. They are still in the dark, especially with the blocking. And speaking of blocking, not a problem for the King Crunchers.
But we did mention in the previous match, Navy had 7 blocks, although they did lose. It's a strength, and you're right. I mean, that's what they're looking for today, how to try to get to challenge the offense of Criss Cross and get some stuff blocks.
De La Vega, that's dug by Garcia. Polvorosa to Isay. Off the block and outside. I mean, King Crunchers just seem to have a way with blockers of the opposing team. They either split it up or they just bounce it off the arms of the blockers.
And I love the defense there of Jude Garcia. Pretty textbook, you know, good dig, good set, and Isay Marasigan gets that kill. Whoa!
Service ace. Garcia had 2 aces in the loss against the Navigators Iloilo. Now it's a 4-point lead for the King Crunchers in set number 2.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf 2024 Semifinals Day 2. Now, Eric and Noreen, as you guys can see, Mark Espejo is slowly coming back for the Criss Cross King Crunchers. And if you guys noticed in the last game, he actually was not playing like himself or his usual self because head coach Ty Bundit actually tried to test out Mark as an opposite hitter. It was agreed by the coaching staff that he is not comfortable in this position anymore, even if he scored his career high of 55 points in this position. And it's too much of a crucial time for them to test things out. Kaya for today and the entire semifinal stint, he is back to his open hitter position. They are back to their original rotation, and hopefully this will do them justice in today's game. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Marasigan with the score after an exciting rally. But, yeah, a little bit of an experimentation for Coach Ty Bundit. In fact, Espejo came off the bench in that game against the Navigators Iloilo. He came in second set.
Well, again, because he hasn't trained long enough with Criss Cross, they have their original positions. And, of course, if you have a Mark Espejo, you want him in your lineup or in your starting six, but you need to try to adjust. And, yeah, that's the journey of a new team and somebody who just came from Korea, right?
Yep.
Korea.
Marvin Villanueva with a nice cross-court hit. 4-point game. Espejo with the pass. Combination play, back row push from Garcia. Nice dig coming from Kalingking. Back row hit coming from Villanueva, and a running attack. Intales denied. Sumanggid with a dig. Nice exchange from both teams. Leo knocks it in.
You're right. It was a nice exchange. That was one of the longer rallies we've had here in this match. And yeah, I mean, again, we mentioned, you know, the Villanuevas, the Leoks, the Sapidas. They're the ones actually scoring and playing well for PGJC Navy.
Nice serve by Jacob. Espejo, yes!
Did you see his... You're going to see the slow-mo. It wasn't a full... you see that? I mean, it's pretty short follow-through for Espejo, and yet he gets it inside.
And that same pace as well, right? He doesn't have to have a full swing. Jacob with a pass. Villanueva, single man block, Mark Espejo. Just like what Ayana Perlas was reporting, he's starting to get into his own and into the rhythm of things for the King Crunchers.
And looking comfortable, making Villanueva realize that I can block as well.
Lead is 5 for the King Crunchers. Leok trying to go down the line, and he knocks it in.
Leok has got the hot hands for PGJC Navy. Then you see the improvement of Navy. I'm just excited that they made it to the Final Four, hoping to still make it to the finals. And next conference is looking really good.
Polvorosa to Marabunga.
But you can see Coach Ty here in this match. He's not taking any more chances. He's done his experimentation throughout this conference, even last game, and now he's sticking to a starting unit.
Pudadera out to Leok. This time blocked by Isay.
Yeah, good read there by Marasigan. They have to realize Marasigan has that hang time.
Omar Leok will sit down. And Jeric Carangyan, who did not play in the game against the HD Spikers, will see action for the first time here in the semis.
Well, Coach George looking for some sort of a match to ignite this PGJC team.
And we mentioned how short this lineup is for Coach George Pascua. I mean, Celis was not in the lineup in the last game. Ashley didn't play. Jacob Ashley didn't play against the HD Spikers. Taneo didn't play as well. Alicando didn't play. So, I mean, he doesn't really use a lot, which is why it's a little strange that he's now shuffling players just to find a good combination as Espejo will score again.
Well, in times of desperation, you need to make changes. What a serve.
Putadera sets it up. Combination play. There's Karanyan. Dug by Garcia. Well, that could have been outside for Isay Marasigan. Karanyan again. Blocked. Oh! Terrific turnaround from offense to defense by the King Crunchers.
Did you say turnaround? Did you see the turnaround of Isay Marasigan prior to that block?
Timeout for the Sea Lions. We'll listen to Coach Pascua.
Gusto natin manalo, tama? Ngayon, kung gusto nyo manalo, magtrabaho kayo. As much as possible, dapat nag-aabot tayo, mas aggressive tayo sa kalaban. Kasi tinitingnan nyo lang yung bola eh. Kung nandun yung desire natin na manalo, walang ang babagsak na bola dapat. Sige, gawin nyo lang, baka sakali. Baka sakali, mayangat yung bola. I-attempt lang kayo, huwag nyo titignan. Ang problema kasi, hindi na yung Criss Cross eh. Ang problema na nandito na sa atin eh. Sila ginagawa lang nila, pinapasok nila ang service nila. Hindi naman sila pupuntos eh. Tayo nagbibigay ng puntos sa kalaban eh.
And this is the turnaround you were talking about. Isay Marasigan spinning and hitting the ball in the process, scoring. I mean, that's how easy it's been for the King Crunchers this entire match so far. Let's see if that timeout will do wonders for Coach Pascua, because the shuffling so far has not.
Yeah, but you know, you said how easy. They just make it look easy. What Isay Marasigan did wasn't easy.
There's a good response by Peter Kiel after the timeout.
Much needed. Really desperate need of a person to score.
So Putadera serving. There's a side out by the Sea Lions. Can they get a run? That's the big question. Ish Pulverosa out to Isay Marasigan. That's the problem. They can't get a run. Only one side out, and very quickly the King Crunchers answer right back.
Yeah, they just always find solutions to this run of Navy.
Welcome back to the Spikers Turf 2024 Semifinals Game 2. Now, of course, Eric and Noreen, earlier you talked about PGJC service errors, and ito rin ang naging problema nila sa last game nila against Signal. Basic service and receive. And syempre, kaninang umaga lang, nag-overload sila with these two skills to hopefully get rid of that hesitancy. And that showed in the last game. And para mapakita rin nila ang pagiging matapang ng isang sundalo. Sabi rin ni Coach George sa huddle nila, kaya nyo naman yan. You can do it in training. You can also do it in this game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ayana. Arena Plus, Astix Sports right now. It hasn't translated. All that good play in training has not worked out for the Sea Lions against the King Crunchers. An error by Malabunga helps, but again, they can't rely on the free points.
I was looking at the linesman actually signaled the check ball, but overruled by the first referee. No challenge. So yeah, Navy gets the point. Yeah, but we have to give it to Criss Cross. Criss Cross is playing a good game. Yeah. You know, Navy they're having their problems, but Criss Cross is like possessed here in this match so far. So sometimes you have to acknowledge the fact that hey, your opponent just playing a good game.
It's just much better. There's Jude Garcia once again, just towering above the blockers and nailing that one in. Lead us back to 7 for the King Crunchers.
Boy, I will bet that Jude Garcia can actually dunk the ball.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would even go as far as saying maybe even Ish Pulverosa can tap the ring.
You think Ish Polverosa can tap the ring? I'm going to ask him.
There is Coach George Pascua, visibly disappointed at the way his team is playing. And he's going to put in Sapida and Dolor again. Jacob Ashley. And actually, only Ashley stepping out.
One final push is what Coach George wants. So he needs Greg Delord to be there.
Intal. That's popped up by Pudadera. Chased down by Villanueva. Nice pass, actually. Turned out to be a good play for Greg Delord.
Boy, that is so hard to score a point from. Look at this chase, but we gotta commend that. But that's how good Greg Delord is. We've talked about it for so many years, and he's still showing us that, you know, he can still do that.
That's true. Since his FU days. Wait a minute, there is a challenge here. A floor touch. Yep, it's going to be a floor touch challenge. Like Coach Taibu did in the King Crunchers. There are two Sea Lions who went for the pancake save. King Crunchers 0-1 in the semis, and so are the Sea Lions. Both teams looking for their first win here. They're only playing 3 games.
Yeah.
So this is the second game for both teams. They've got to go up to 2-1 at least. That's the magic number. You said it in the open.
They first have to go 1-1.
Well, that's true. You have to get the 1 first before you get the 2-1.
Yeah, I mean that's already looking way into the future, like on Sunday.
Well, speaking of looking into the future, well, we have this time. I mean, if you're the Sea Lions, there's more incentive for you because their next match, their final match, is against the Navigators, who they beat in their last game of the preliminary round in 5 sets. So if they get the 1 here to go 1-1, there's a high possibility they can go up 2-1 because they're going up against a team that they beat. Meanwhile, for the King Crunchers, as you look at the challenge, and it will be successful. They touched the floor already. For the King Crunchers, it's a much steeper hill to climb because even if they win here, they're going up against a team that beat them in the preliminary round in the HD Spikers. But right now, the Sea Lions, they're not anywhere near the level of the King Crunchers, at least in this first set and a half that we're seeing.
That is a great point. But we know that here in this semifinal round, where you mentioned it was single round robin, anything can happen. I mean, all these teams have improved, number 1. Number 2, they're good teams, so you know you have one bad day, that's it for you. Like Criss Cross had a bad day, that's it. You know, the Navigators just pounced on the opportunity.
It's a block party right now for the King Crunchers. Garcia single-man block against Marvin Villanueva.
Well, Criss Cross is actually the best blocking team this conference, and that's why they lost to the Navigators. The Navigators outblocked them in a match wherein, you know, they're supposed to be the better blocking team, and they're showing us right now they're learning from that loss.
They only had 8 blocks against the Navigators. Greg Delor overpassed by Juby Mangaring.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about Riveros, we always talk about Sumangit, right? Sumang. But what about Mangaring? I mean, he got hit earlier, then just brushed it off. I mean, what a game also he's been.
They're fighters.
Yeah, yeah.
Service right on the line. There's going to be a quick challenge. Again, the first one was successful for Coach Taibu. He still has 2 remaining, and you don't see it on your screens, but Coach Tai is pointing where the ball landed.
Well, that's two sets of eyes. You have Espejo and Coach Tai.
Coach Tai.
Rexenthal is being playful. Coach Tai was pointing to where it actually landed. Rexenthal moved a bit farther from the end line and said, here, here, here.
All right, here's a look.
Good challenge. Good challenge.
Sometimes when the ball flattens out, when it hits, you know, the floor, it clips the line. But that was probably about a good inch and a half away from the line. So back-to-back successful challenges for Coach Tai Bundit.
So you like the tandem of Coach Tai and Mark Espejo. When they agree on something, you believe.
Good pass by De La Vega. Big Dolor. That's the result of good passing, which we have not seen much from the Sea Lions.
And for Greg Dolor, the rest better late than never. You need a rally right now. You're still in the game. You may be down by 7, but you should just let Criss Cross work for every point here.
Dolor with a nice serve, but a good pass as well by Garcia. Espejo, that's outside. Nope. Clipped one of the blockers. So again, the King Crunchers preventing the Sea Lions from getting any sort of run here, not even a 2-point run.
Yeah. Really, Espejo, he's looking good. I mean, he's looking good. He did look tired a couple of games back, but today he's rejuvenated.
Botadera with a 1-2 play picked up by Jewel Asia. Garcia plays setter. Jaron Riquinton bounces it off the block and scores.
Everybody contributing for the King Crunchers.
And Coach has seen enough. We'll talk it over with the Sea Lions once again.
Ano ba mga word na dapat kong sabihin sa inyo? Again, boys, sabi nga ni Sir, it's our choice na pagdating sa court. So ano ba yung gusto natin? Ano bang kailangan natin gawin para manalo? Kung gusto natin manalo, mag-isip tayo ng paraan para manalo. Ano yung mga bagay na yon? Use your training. Tapangan ninyo. Or else, kung aasa tayo sa kalaban, hindi tayo mananalo. Huwag kayong maghintay. Hanapin ninyo. Ang panalo inihintay. Inihintay. Hindi siya inihintay. Hinahanap siya. Ha? Let's go! Let's go, DB!
Oh, Coach Pascua just, you know, putting together different ideas, thoughts, motivational words. Just try and get his team going. But they continue to struggle, down by 9 points now. De La Vega. And again, these highlights are just few and far between for the Sea Lions.
Yeah, but, you know, they have to, for me, Botadera, you need to get them going. You need to give them their touches. So these out-of-system sets, you have to try to look for De La Vega, Dolor, because they're the ones going to actually lead you in this match.
There's a nice block, but good coverage by Espejo. Battle at the net. One by Botadera. Malabunga with the push. Ooh, iffy set there.
Yeah.
Coming from Karangian. Espejo against a single block.
Could be Polverosa, could be Jewel Asia. Same. One-on-one, and Mark Espejo, one-on-one. Come on.
And right now, the Sea Lions just easily get disoriented. And out of their defensive pattern is Polverosa and Isay Marasigan return. And by the looks of it, they might win by the same margin. Because right now they have 9 set points. They won by 10 in the opening set.
And then we have to mention, I like the fact that Coach Tai is also giving Ish Polverosa the opportunity to get his confidence back, you know? I mean, Jewel Asia, he's been playing well. Anytime you put him in, we've seen that throughout the years. But you want both of them to be focused in the match, and you want Ish Polverosa to get that confidence. Right?
Well, a kill by the Sea Lions. They get 16 points here in the second set. Just one more than the first set, but Espejo, just like the way it's been going this entire second set, I mean, they don't allow the Sea Lions to get on runs. They get the quick side out. And it's a 9-point win in set number 2 for the King Crunchers against the Sea Lions in the semi-final matchup.
alam ko to kasi OPM to eh. 214 ba to? The world could die and everything may lie. Just a small town girl. Alam ko yung lyric na to. Ano ang title na to? Living in a lonely world. We took the midnight train going anywhere. Binirit. Don't stop believing, yes.
Well, Pem Magalay doing an Arnel Pineda right there. Don't stop believing. Well, right now they can't believe. They can start believing because they're up 2-0 against the Sea Lions in the semifinal matchup.
Well, that's the song. Actually, PGJC has got to sing. Don't stop believing. You got to come back. If you want to force at least a fourth set, you have to come back and win this third set, right? You know, Coach George has been saying they're not playing their game, obviously. They have to be more deliberate. He knows what PGJC is made of, what they can do, and they're not playing up to par. So they have to make the adjustments on their own, and it starts with their psyche for PGJC Navy. Criss Cross, what else do we have to say? What a match so far. First and second set, everybody contributing. Look at the attacks. Actually, Navy had more attacks, but the defense, the blocking, come on, 7 blocks, 7 stops for Criss Cross in set number 2. Errors actually very put at a minimum, but we talked about Navy being a good blocking team, and where is it? Yeah. You know, you got to try to take chances here because obviously Criss Cross comfortable. They're coming in and doing their own plays and trying to elude the blockers. You have to try to risk it and try to, you know, guard someone and get a stuff block because the impact of one stuff block is huge.
Well, in their one and only meeting, again in the open conference, as Malabunga gets the King Crunchers on the board first, they won the first set. The Sea Lions did. But then King Crunchers ran away with the next 3 sets. So it's going to be the tougher of the, you know, tougher way to win. We're trying to steal a third set after losing the first 2. But no ifs and buts. That's the only option that remains for the Sea Lions. Peter Kiel is blocked. Wait a minute. That's going to be an overreach as Pudadera is a backliner.
Yeah, the thing is, Marcus Peo just, you know, he deceived Pudadera, showing that he was going to block it, and then when the ball was near both their hands, he let it go, and that error from Pudadera. We're seeing a lot of that, actually, this conference, huh?
Better pass from Kalingking. Here comes De La Vega, blocked again. And the third set is starting pretty much the way it ended in set number 2.
But some way, somehow, we know, the fans know, the viewers know that Criss Cross is going to come out with fighting because they lost that match against the Navigators. If you're Navy, you have to know that as well. So you've got to, you know, step it up in your game by notches. A couple of notches higher.
There's a nice shot by De La Vega, bouncing it off the block of Kim Malabunga.
Yeah.
It was actually Isa Marasigan who said it in the interview right before we started the first set, that both teams will come out firing because both teams are coming off a loss in their first game of the semis. But like what you mentioned, Sea Lions have not been able to match that energy of the King Crunchers. Good pass by Sumang. Combination play, Espejo!
Good pass. Great hit. I mean, Criss Cross has been milking Marcus Espejo right now, and if he's that comfortable and at ease, I mean, his efficiency is just way up there.
Another spectacular start here by the King Crunchers. There is a service fault, but I mean, how smooth can the offense get for the King Crunchers right now? I mean, it's seamless in this match against PGJC Navy.
You can see in this match today, Espejo is opting to go for easier serves, you know, not the hard serves.
Sumang with a pass. Jude Garcia is blocked. Malabunga keeps it alive. Garcia tries again.
Oh, good
Peter Kiel. Good coverage by the Sea Lions. Polvorosa, one-handed set. Garcia with a tip and the point.
Boy, again, I always say, you know, these explosive attackers, they just sell their drops so well. Look at how high the contact is for Jude Garcia.
5-2 King Crunchers. They're up 2-0. Malabunga serving to De La Vega. Here's Delor. Block. Kept alive by Kalingking. Delor again. Espejo with a nice touch from the back row. Here's a push by Garcia. Blocked by Sapida. Isai with a dump, and it's on the line.
Oh, smart tip by Isai Marasigan.
There will be a challenge here. Coach George Pascua saw otherwise.
Well, you love the defense of Criss Cross. That looks like, you know, earlier that they were targeting the high hands. It did go up, but Espejo just uses athleticism to keep the ball in play with a stretch of his version of a stretch.
Well, I mean, right now, the Sea Lions, again, they have not been able to play well on both sides, on both ends. As you see, ball is in, so the call is correct. This challenge is unsuccessful for Coach Pascua. I mean, defense and offense, they have been found wanting the Sea Lions. Meanwhile, the King Crunchers, like what you mentioned, Noreen, with that move by Espejo in the back row, they're just playing very well on both ends. I mean, offensively, they're so good, and then defense, their coverage is nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah. Boy, they really want to earn the 3 points with a 3-set victory.
De La Vega, block. And that save is no good from Sapida. It's been all King Crunchers in this third set. And Coach Pascua, as you take a look at this block against De La Vega in the attempt to save, goes outside for Sapida. Jepoy Alicando, who did not play in their game against the HD Spikers, is on the floor for the Sea Lions.
Boy, meaning Coach George really desperately looking for a formidable 6.
There's Alicando with a touch. Combination play, Dolores blocked. Pudadera to Delor again, blocked again. And this time it goes outside, but you see how hard the Sea Lions have to work for a solitary point.
But that's the way it goes. I mean, if your opponent is in the zone, you have to keep going, you know? Not one stop and that's it. And Delor, I like his reaction because, you know, there's a bit of taunting between him and Isai Marasigan. Look at this. Look at that stare. That stare down.
Well, Isai said it in the open. There will be taunting. There will be some words exchanged, and they're expecting it. Nice pass by Espejo. Here comes Garcia. Coverage is there for the Sea Lions. Greg Delor off the block. Sumang to Ish Polvorosa and go back to Garcia, and Garcia fires one in.
Yeah, just too many options on the side of Criss Cross.
5-point lead. King Crunchers up 8-3 against the Sea Lions. Third set.
You're still watching the Spikers Turf 2024 semifinals where power meets passion. Now, Eric and Noreen, Jude Garcia doing extremely well in today's game, as the last game was a big realization for him. Jude actually had a total of 19 errors. At inamin niya na minsan nawawala talaga yung confidence niya in-game due to the fact that he is still getting used to indoor volleyball. He hasn't played indoor in a while, but even with this, his stats say otherwise. Jude is very young, kaya naintindihan ng Criss Cross yung tendencies niya. Kaya ang solusyon whenever he is on the floor. Isay Marasigan and Femi Bagalay are the two players that keep him confident when he forgets his strengths. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Ayana. Only 25 years old, Jude Garcia, former FEU Tamarao, who was the best outside hitter UAAP season 81. Isay Marasigan, that is overpassed by Greg Dolor, and another point for the King Crunchers. That's been the story. No runs at all for the Sea Lions. They get a point, but then King Crunchers get it right back.
Yeah, because again, great decision making on the part of Ishpol Verosa. Look at Kalingking nearly broke the camera over the cameraman.
Kalingking with a better pass on the dig. There's a little tip by Jepoy Alicando. Isay Marasigan hits Kalingking. Quick reflexes, popping it up with the Dera. Calls out De La Vega's name, and De La Vega sends it into the net.
Yeah, he tried to find his footing there, and that made all the difference. He lost the timing of that hit.
Toto De La Vega, 20 points in their first meeting. But right now, he barely has grazed the double-digit mark. Their service outside. So back-to-back service faults for the King Crunchers, but that has not made a dent on their lead against PGJC Navy.
It should, actually. They should take from there. You know, they get a free point. We hear that a lot. You can side out, but you got to score. So this is where Navy wants to actually score.
Well, here's a chance. Peter Kiel is blocked. Espejo picks it up. Espejo will get it back. There's a dig coming from Greg Dolor. Karangyan blocked, and again, it sounds like a broken record, but that's been how it's gone for the Sea Lions. They get a point, whether it's a free point or they get a kill, but then King Crunchers get it right back.
Well, sometimes we would say, you know, if you see two blockers in front of you, you go for the smaller blocker. At that instance, it was actually Ishpol Verosa with that stuff block.
Who's not the smallest of setters. Ish is about 5'10", as you see. Peter Kiel get a point. Sea Lions down by 5.
You see points a bit from Dolor, a bit from Kiel and De La Vega, but you're right, no? It's like spaced out.
Right. And there again, Malabunga, after the point by Kiel, Malabunga answers right back, just preventing any runs here for the Navy. And that's got to be demoralizing if you're Greg Dolor, I mean, De La Vega, Peter Kiel. You're trying to defend, but it's just hard. I mean, because of the firepower and the setting of Ishpol Verosa, Jewel-Asia as well, during certain occasions, it's hard to predict where the King Crunchers are going to go offensively. Peter Kiel with a hit, kept alive. Back row, Garcia, Kalingking, good defense. Back row attack, Greg Dolor puts it away.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example from PGJC Navy. That's a perfect example of what they can do. They can actually play the Criss Cross game, you know, go to the pipe. Great defense, but then you have to do it at a consistent level.
Jerry Karangyan with the serve. Good pass by Sumang. One-handed set, and Espejo with a side out. Each and every time the Sea Lions attempt to get 2 consecutive points.
What a set by Ishpol Verosa. That one-handed save there.
Floater of a serve. Short pass from Greg Dolor. De La Vega, that did not cross the net. So 4 touches against the Sea Lions. And De La Vega out of his element today.
But you know, that is actually the responsibility also of the setter. You've got to give your hitters the confidence, you know, you feed them and the coverage. If blocking is working for your opponents, you have to work double time in your block coverage.
Lead is 6 for the King Crunchers. Peter Kiel. Verosa, the set, back row. Oh, what a great adjustment in midair for Mark Espejo.
Exhibit V. They really sell it. Look at this approach and then the last minute drop. That really fooled the defense of PGJC Navy.
I mean, how do you counter that, right?
Yeah.
More adjustments moving forward, especially on defense for Coach George Pasco and the Sea Lions. With Adera running attack for De La Vega. They're trying to put De La Vega in different positions, different ways of scoring. Delor presses it off Marasigan.
And the extra reaction after that. You see that? The extra spice after that kill.
So another opportunity to get 2 consecutive points for the Sea Lions. They need to get a stop here. Isai off the block and outside.
Yeah, he did target the hands of Sapida there.
69, the lead with the King Crunchers. Third set. The postseason of the association is finally here. Watch the 2024 NBA playoffs only on NBA TV Philippines, One Sports, and Filipinas Live. Hashtag everything counts. Hashtag NBA on Signal. Marvin Jairami checking in, along with another Marvin Villanueva. On the other side, Jewel Asia checking in, along with Jaron Riquinton. A pretty comfortable 7-point cushion here for Chuen Jiga, who has not seen action, and the rest of the King Crunchers.
And this double substitution has been working actually for Coach Ty, Riquinton, and Jewel Asia. So yeah, I mean, sticking to that.
Riquinton, right on cue.
You love the sounds of that contact. Really crisp. They can be the Criss Cross.
Time out here for Coach George Pasco. As you see the celebration from Jaron Riquinton, they are up by 8.
Pag didipesa tayo, talagang didipesa tayo. Gusto nating manalo, di ba? So sana mag-aggressive tayo sa depensa, sa block. Naintindihan natin. Sige, don't stop. Hindi pa naman natatapos yan. Walang natatapos sa 2 sets lang. Try niya lang, subukan nyo lang, sipagan nyo lang. Maliwanag. Okay, let's go. Laban tayo, boys. Kaya, laban lang tayo.
Well, brace yourself as athletes and sports lovers have no holds barred conversations with Sean Ildefonso. Watch Sean Time exclusive on Filipinas Live. Download and subscribe now. Rex Intal in front, along with Jude Garcia, Jaron Riquinton. A strong front line here for the King Crunchers as Sapida will pack it in.
Well, for Navy, you're looking for the fight back. We cannot, stop and urge them for that, because we know they're better than what they're playing today. It's really, it's the mental aspect of their game that's missing.
Kalingking with the dig. Sapida looking for back-to-back points. He got it.
Well, this could be the start of a rally.
First 2-point run here in the third set for the Sea Lions. And they're still down by a substantial 6-point margin.
Again, we always say better late than never.
And I only say substantial. I know it's not a lot. I mean, 6 points can be easily erased. But King Crunchers only need 8 points to win the match. Now they only need 7 points to win the match.
And a lot of laughs there because looks like a miss hit from Requinton, but still he gets the point.
That's the luck of the King Crunchers today. I mean, everything they've hit, everything they've blocked has turned into a point. Short pass, Jairami. Sapida had back-to-back points earlier. Sapida is blocked. Good coverage by Greg Delor. This time, Marvin Villanueva.
Oh,
what a
good
dig
save
there by Mangaring. Oh, Garcia keeping it alive. Espejo backs up and hits. Kalingking will play center. They go back to Villanueva. Blocked. Kept alive by Sapida. Jairami to Karangyad.
Oh, good cover.
Could have been a double on Sapida, but officials bite their whistle. And there's a point. Jaron Requinton, 2 points.
That was the best rally of the match so far. The longest, the best.
And probably the most exciting as well.
Yeah. Look at that reaction of Requinton.
Garcia.
Oh.
Kalingking with a great pass. Combination play. Another block. Espejo, a single-man block against Marvin Villanueva.
You know, when you're in the zone, it's like every decision you make is the correct decision, right? So Marcus Espejo just decided to cover this, cover that, and they get the block.
That's been the kind of flow King Crunchers have been on since the first serve of this semi-final matchup.
20 serving 11.
Thunderous serve going wide for Jude Garcia. But no matter, right now they're sitting on an 8-point lead. They're only 5 points away from winning their first match in the semifinals.
Yeah, that's pretty comfortable lead for Criss Cross, and the way they're playing, really, it's like they're not slowing down.
A rare misreceive from Suma, who has been great today defensively. Short pass once again. Peter Kiel sends it outside.
Ball is out.
Adding to the woes of the Sea Lions there.
They just can't get themselves going. Rex Intali was looking at Coach Tai Bundit in the signal as to where to send the serve. Greg Delor picks it up. Kiel, back-to-back attack faults for Peter Kiel. And right now, the Sea Lions drowning in their own errors.
22 serving 12.
Well, again, we always say they have to dig deep. You know, at least make a better finish to this set.
Oh! Well, that's not going to help. Between two players, Karangyad and Delor, that serve wasn't even strong enough. I mean, it just sailed past two Sea Lions. There it is. 11-point lead for the King Crunchers. Right now, it looks as insurmountable as it gets. Kiel, picked up by Garcia in the back row. Jaron Requinton catches the line.
Any part of the court, any type of hit, everything, you're right, just working for the King Crunchers.
12 match points for the King Crunchers. Karangyad sends it outside, but there's a block touch. Overruled by Herbert Matematico, says it's outside, and Coach Pascua just does not even challenge anymore. And the win in 3 straight sets for the King Crunchers, their first win of the semifinals. They go up 1-1, Doreen.
Well, again, we have to go back to the fact that Criss Cross came into the game with a mission. You know, they wanted to get back that loss, lessons learned from that loss to the Navigators, and they were just focused. You know, they were on point. They never looked back.
A lot more energy by the King Crunchers, and the Sea Lions just failed to match it. Did not even steal a set. So it's a 3-set sweep. King Crunchers against the Sea Lions in our second game of our semis doubleheader this Friday.
Welcome back to Spikers Turf Semifinals 2024. That just concludes our second game for today's doubleheader. Criss Cross winning in just 3 sets against the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. And kasama ko ngayon ang best player of the game. We have Mr. Mark Espejo. Mark, congratulations. Welcome back to the player of the game column, but this time with Criss Cross.
Yes. Ayan. Sobrang saya. Nanalo ulit kami from last game natalo. Siguro this time, kailangan lang namin mag-enjoy talaga. Kasi parang no regrets lang. Kung manalo matalo, at least ginawa yung best mo. So itong game na to, masaya kaming lahat. And I hope na sa next game namin makabawi kami.
For sure, Mark. Now, alam ko dito sa Criss Cross, medyo naging mabigat yung adjustment mo sa team coming from Korea, learning a new system there. Tapos ngayon, bago ulit. Can you tell me now, your player of the game, do you think yung pagpanalo na ngayon, did it fasten your process of adjustment sa team?
Yes, may factor din na ganun. Pero sabi ko nga, parang hindi pa ako physically ready. Pero kung ano yung kaya ko ibigay sa team, gagawin ko para manalo. And kumbaga magiging role player ako para sa team na to. And ililid ko sila hanggang kaya ko. At I hope na, yun. Kasi nga last time natalo kami against Signal naman. So let's see kung ano mangyayari.
Mark, you mentioned that the last game was a tough loss for you guys, and you know, complacency and the lack of teamwork were the 2 main problems for you in that game. Pero ngayon, grabe, parang napaka-cohesive ninyo as a team. How were you guys able to work on your teamwork and your gelling in just 2 days?
Yes, after nung game na natalo kami, so balik training kami. Siguro nung training na yon, parang in-enjoy lang namin kung ano yung mga pwede namin gawin. At baga kinalimutan na namin yung pagkatalo namin last time, and may chance pa naman kami makaabot ng final. So eto, 1 down, 1 more against Signal, at we'll see kung ano mangyayari. At ayun, binabati ko yung family ko, nanonood dito, at ang girlfriend ko nanonood din, and kay Sir Jonathan Nang and family, and sa Criss Cross fans, maraming salamat sa pagsuporta.
Thank you so much, Mark. Congratulations again. Again, our best player of the game from the Criss Cross King Crunchers, Mr. Mark Espejo. Back to you, Eric and Noreen.
Maraming salamat, Ayana Pernas. Mark Espejo got a lot of the touches right from the beginning, and he got his groove, he got his rhythm, and he never looked back from there.
Yeah, that's a good sign for the Ribisco franchise. We have to say Criss Cross, you know, people said, oh, they lost to the Navigators, they're going to play against Navy. Then Signal, it could be a lost cause, but they showed us otherwise. They showed us something different today. They really wanted to win this and showed their dominance the entire match. And you're right, Mark Espejo was a focal point, and obviously he will going into that most important match for them against Signal. Yeah, if you look at the numbers, boy, I always say, if you see numbers like that, all categories point to a Criss Cross win: attacks, blocks, serves, and less errors. But today, really, the blocking of Criss Cross, they showed dominance in that. And the stops, the defensive stops, really just couldn't get PGJC Navy going in any way.
So the King Crunchers go up to 1-1 in the standings. And they're not assured of a finals spot yet. They need to win their other match to sort of get a better hold on that. But they're going to go up against Signal. That's what Marcus Espero was saying. So that's going to be a tall order. And that's part of the schedule on Sunday right here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. The Sea Lions will be taking on the Navigators, and then the HD Spikers taking on the King Crunchers in rematch number 2, but this time in the semis.
Yeah, and you're gonna hear the panel explain a lot about the scoring system, especially after that first game, that 10 a.m. game between Navy and the Navigators. Right. Then you'll see the implications later on the Signal Criss Cross match.
That's right, the 12 noon match between the HD Spikers and the King Crunchers, who win today in 3 sets against the Sea Lions. Thanks to our director, Raul Ocampo, our producer, Nick Earnshaw. For Ayana Perlas, my partner, Noringo, I'm Eric Kwan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Sunday for the final game on the semifinals Open Conference of the Spikers Turf right here on Pilipinas Live.